Welcome everybody, Mike Michaels here with Performance Horse Central. We've got some special guests here today. We've got Mr. Ben Self, Mr. Chris Dawson, Mr. Russell Dilday, all from Cowhorse Full Contact podcast. You might have heard of it. Gentlemen, welcome.
Well, hey, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So here we are.
Thanks for coming to our house.
We've got your booth here. Looks like you still got a little housekeeping to do, but it's only like day 4 or 5.
We try and keep Ben organized, but
yeah, I know. I hope this doesn't go on Farmers Only on his profile.
Yeah, I think he's a real star.
What's your handle on Farmers Only?
Pale Rider.
We're off to a good start. So, how many episodes have we done now of the Cowhorse Full Contact?
Oh, about 45 now.
45.
Holy cow!
I didn't know that.
So,
we were in the
100
20s.
hours of content. So
100 hours of finalized, edited content.
Yes,
so there's a lot more of that that didn't get out.
I'll tell you what, we're thinking about selling the outtakes. Thinking about selling the outtakes, maybe later.
I think
But
we'll
black
get some
market.
sponsors
Black
for that.
market.
So what made you guys decide to get into the podcast?
Ben coerced us.
Yeah,
You
Ben.
did?
So I wanted to start a Rein Cowhorse podcast that was focused primarily towards the Rein Cowhorse, and I wanted
You can catch it. Your dog is running away. I don't know if you get to bring the dog anymore.
eat another
What?
cat.
Do we need to pause?
Service animal. No, service animal.
Service.
This is what happens.
Tie
At
it.
Cowhorse Full. This
Yeah.
is just a typical episode of Cowhorse Full Contact right here. You never know. There might. I mean, it's hard to say what's going to happen.
No
Just put it
guineas.
all in, but that's kind of what makes you guys popular, I think. You know, you just never know what's
Well,
going to
it's
happen.
certainly not our professionalism and our being good at it.
Yeah,
We'll leave that to the horse trainer.
All right.
yeah.
So going back
Not this
before we were
week.
distracted by the service dog. So what made you want to do that?
Well, I saw that Andrea Fapani's podcast, Along for the Ride,
Yeah.
and with your podcast, Section K podcast, hosted by Caitlin Rutherford and Cody Headland.
Yep.
I wanted to; those were focused primarily towards those industries. I wanted to make one that's unique in its own way with the cow horse. That it's a tunnel to a portal into the Rein cow horse industry for people. And to
What about
promote
that
the Rein
canyon?
cow-
You want to talk
Yeah,
about that?
Oh yeah. Sometimes when I lose my train of thought, I approach a canyon that is never ending.
I sense a whole story behind this one. So what made you decide to pick on these two guys to be involved?
Well, I wanted two trainers that had the best personalities, that are one of the top, cow horse trainers. 3-time World Race horseman, NRCHA $1 Million Rider, and best personalities, and that's what I.
Does he pay you to say that?
No. No.
And no one else would answer.
Yeah, we were the last ones on the call list.
So when Ben approached you guys with the idea, what kind of went through your minds?
Well, that was it. I kind of told him that I was out unless I said I got a friend that's allergic to dead air though. If I can get him to do it with me, when we'll tee it up and try it out. And really, we did Ron Rawls. We did Ron Rawls, Sam Rose, and
each
you and
other.
I, and had no idea. Had never interviewed anybody. I had done an interview for a podcast, and that was all I knew about him. And wow. But it was a blast that day.
And when he called me, he said, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" I'm like, sure. I thought it was just a one interview. I thought I
Didn't know
would
you
go.
signed up for life.
Right, I didn't have and I had no idea we were the hosts at all. And when we just show up there and start with probably Chatty Cathy, Ron Rawls, start right off.
Well, you hit it off. I mean, things snowballed pretty quickly. People caught on and got wind of what you guys were doing and started tuning in. So what was the next step? Now we're kind of committed. We got to keep going.
Well, I think for me, I really would like to talk to a lot of the older trainers that laid the groundwork for this deal and get their stories down. I mean, for historical purposes, if nothing else.
Right.
And just because it's there, I mean, shoot. Heck, we lost a friend of ours today. I mean, it can be over, and we were looking forward to his interview, man. A neat guy.
I know. Brian
Yeah.
Peterson from Martin Saddles.
Yeah.
Well, I shook his hand yesterday.
Yeah.
We're supposed to podcast him after
week.
Ben gets here, and he passed away on us this morning, and he's barely older than me.
Wow.
So that's how fast it can get away from you. And he's one of the ones that we weren't worried about that on time.
back burning him a little, just trying to.
I mean, you know, I figure he'd be here forever. Hardest working human being. There's not a harder working human being than that guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy. And I've visited with him a lot. His story is unbelievable. I'm way out in Australia and just hard knocking life out there, and then come out here and run Martin Saddlery, the best, biggest saddle deal that's going right now. I mean, Party Classic Equine, that's just phenomenal. And he is so innovative and never stopped trying. Hard-headed, just grind it out and just keep going until he finds what works. He's a great guy, and lost that guy this morning.
Yeah, that's well, our thoughts and prayers are with the family, of course, on that. But like you said, I mean, that is part of this, because you are recording history, and that's something now through technology that we are able to do. YouTube, Facebook, I mean, podcasts, obviously, gives you that medium to bring out some more stories. Tell us a little bit about what are maybe some of your favorite podcasts that you've done. We'll start with you, Russell. Have you got a favorite that kind of stands out to you?
I have a favorite line in every podcast.
Social,
you know.
Economic makeup.
Oh, that wasn't my friend. Dumb Ben. I was trying to get the right answer. I wouldn't help me. You know, it seems like every one of the podcasts, we just go along and visit. And probably to back up, our first impression of the podcast, of what we wanted to do, was the most fun in training is when you get done for the day and you're sitting around the tack room with your friends, having a beer or a drink or whatever, or eating, and just visiting about training, about life, about all the subjects you cross over. And that's what we wanted to bring. And so that's how we try to set up our podcasts, and then we hope that those parts come out. All the fun stuff that when you're just sitting around and no one's looking, and you're not trying to rattle off a bunch of crap about standings. And so we don't focus much on the training. It gets in there because we talk about it, but also for people to see the roads to doing this in this industry, and that every road isn't to being the number one winner. There's a lot of people make a great living and have a great life and have a good time just doing this that we love.
And that's what brings people into the sport. It's that experience. And that's the same with cutting, with any sport. I mean, it's the behind the scenes stuff other than just the competition. The camaraderie. And so what are some of the challenges? I mean, you're up in Wynnewood, Oklahoma. You're in Perrin. Where are you at, Ben?
I'm just moved from Pilot Point to St. Joe, Texas.
Oh, great. So you're all close by.
He's about halfway between us.
So you have a regular place you meet, or you just kind of wherever you can?
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's just kind of here and there and everywhere. We've been to Russell's house, been to my house,
his
been to Ben's house.
The NRCHA, the new office. Been to Ben's. We've been in
horse shows.
Horse shows. We've been in show offices.
The announcer stand in Arizona with the horn going on.
With the horn going on.
Maybe a van is in the future. Maybe a mobile van.
That's my idea.
With some fairy
exactly.
Right?
We've been looking.
So what are some of the future plans? What can we look for? Where you guys got anything new coming up as far as the structure, or what are you looking to do with the podcast?
Just more of the same, really. I mean, just try and keep going through, just try and mix it in, and get some older guys. We really like doing the younger guys that are kind of in the middle of the grind. Everybody, we like to get some top 25 riders on there, but, them guys get interviewed all the time.
Sure.
And so, it's not
and not that we don't want, but our biggest rush is to get the old guys.
Right. Like, we might make some trips this winter and try and kind of push on that a little harder.
We went and got Buster Welch, and that's going to be a lot of editing. We were there a long time, and I even gave Ben 10 hours of cassette tapes to go through. on top of the whatever 8 hours, there's 5 hours that we did, whatever we did. So those guys, we would love to get their insight while it's still available, because they came from a time that is not being a lot of the younger people haven't been exposed to the roots that those people
Right.
came from.
And the roots, that's where the sport came from. I mean, that's from how those guys, and a lot of the rules came as they went along, and that side of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think too, like start crossing over with some different disciplines. You know, maybe get some rodeo guys, and just kind of broaden the demographic really a little bit. And like I say, everybody's got a story. And like getting some stories of some non-pros, that were very successful in their businesses or whatever, and talking to them about what drew them to the cow horse and the horse industry in general.
Yeah.
And you never know what the best interview. I mean, we've done cutters. JW was the hat maker.
Yeah.
We did him. What a life! It really didn't have anything to do with the cow horse.
No.
And him making hats for us, but what a fun journey it was just to visit with him.
Sure.
Well, and that's, I think, from an outsider myself, a lot of the times when I look at the episodes, and it may be somebody I have no idea who it is, and just click on it, see what happens, and sometimes, like you said, they're the most entertaining ones because you just don't know what to expect.
They're like Taylor Gillespie. We go off over to Afghanistan with him, stay there for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. We didn't talk horses. Then he sings for the Pope twice.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy stuff that you just learn about people, and it's just it's super fun, and we just have a great time doing it. So.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Watch the coffee. Ben, what are some of the challenges for you working with these two guys?
Well, probably the number one is probably editing, but but it's not bad at all. It's fun.
He's got an app for that. It's fun.
Did they just kind of have you on board because you're the designated driver sometimes, or?
Sometimes.
He just got his license.
Now. We've had to work around school. Thank God for COVID. COVID closes school down, thank God. Now we can do it whenever we want.
Yeah, that's perfect. So you're starting to get a lot of interest from sponsors. How can sponsors get involved with the Cowhorse Full Contact?
So they can email us at cowhorsefullcontact.com or message us on our Facebook page. I'll be gladly to talk with everybody and see what we can do for you and promote your product. So it's a perfect cruise missile to promote your product into the rein cow horse industry. So
absolutely, good sales pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't talk to these two. Talk to Ben.
No, Ben's the man.
It's correct to the business end. Yeah. These guys are creating the content.
Color. We're just the color on this. We're not reading the pedigrees. We're just color.
Perfect. Well, guys, hey, really enjoyed visiting with you. Enjoy the podcast. Looking forward to many more. And thanks for stopping by and telling us about it.
You bet.
Appreciate it, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.